Hello, my lovelies. Welcome back to the Geek Suite. I'm your host, the one and only Kidner Bean, and we're back in my kitchen for another Vlogmas 2019 recipe video. Okay, my lovelies, today we're going to be making the mulled cider that I had mentioned in my earlier Vlogmas video because it's delicious and I want to share that with you. And it's a great, warm, cuddly treat that can be had year-round, but is perfect for those cold, rainy days or snowy days if you're somewhere that it snows during the winter months. So before we get started, you're going to need the following things: a medium-sized skillet or pan, a slow cooker, or in theory you could do this with an Instapot, but I'm going to be doing it with a slow cooker, so if you're using it with an Instapot, I will go ahead and have a separate segment where I give those instructions. You are also going to need a full bottle of your favorite type of apple cider from the store. So for me, that's going to be the Trader Joe's Honeycrisp apple cider, but any cider will do, or you can use apple juice, but I like using the cider because it's already a little bit spiced, which gives it a little bit more of a kick. And you are going to need the following herbs from your spice cabinet, or if you need to go pick them up, these are going to be the things that you will need to purchase. You are going to need cloves, allspice, cardamom, which I clearly use a lot of because I've only got like 4 pieces left, cinnamon, and coriander. A lot of recipes call for star anise or anisa, depending on how you pronounce it, but I don't like to include that in my cider because that has the black licorice taste. That's what that spice is known for. And I just cannot stand it in mulled wine or mulled cider. You can't really taste it but for at the very end with an aftertaste, and it just makes me gag. So this recipe will not be including star anisa, but if you want to add it, you typically usually only add 1 or 2 little stars. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your cardamom and your coriander, and you're going to throw them on that skillet and just brown them for about 5 to 10 minutes. And then when you're ready, you're going to come back and add them into your slow cooker or Instapot. Now, me personally, I'm lazy and I don't tie them in a cheesecloth, which is what you're supposed to do. So the proper way to do this is to take all the spices that I'm listing and tie them in a cheesecloth and attach that to a string to leave in the slow cooker, so that way when you're ready to serve it, you can just pull that out and you're not fishing out various spices from the bottom of your pot with a label. But I don't mind fishing them out. It's like a fun little game. So I'm not going to be doing that, but you are more than welcome to, my lovelies. That is the way that it's supposed to be done. But I'm a rule breaker. I'm a rebel. I'm a Slytherin. Don't tell me how to live my life. And I'm not showing you how to roast them, but really there's no grease in the pan, there's nothing. You just toss them in. Once they turn brown, pull them out and either put them in the cheesecloth or just directly into your slow cooker or Instapot. If you are using an Instapot, you can actually just throw them directly into the Instapot and they will brown there, and then you can add everything else later. So for cardamom, you typically only use 2 or 3 pieces. And for the coriander, it's just a pinch. So, I don't know, no more than 10 of these little balls. Just a handful. And then you are going to add 2 sticks. I added 2 to mine because they are small, but they will expand as you add the cider to them. So if yours are longer, you may only want to put in 1, or you may want to do like I've done here and chop them in half so they'll fit in my lovely little mason jar. You are also then going to need about a handful of cloves, so again, like between 10 and 20. If you use the whole jar, that's obviously way too many. And if you're going to be using cloves, I do actually recommend that you put them in a cheesecloth, or be very, very mindful when you're serving this, especially if you're serving it to children, because these are stabby and people can choke on them. So if you're just doing what I do and throw them all in the slow cooker, be very mindful when you start serving these, typically with a ladle, that if any cloves get in there, that you warn your person or that you fish them out. And for the allspice, you really only need about 5 or 6 of those little balls. These ones are balls too. So You're going to throw all of these into either your cheesecloth or your slow cooker or Instapot, and then you are going to add as much of the cider as will fit into your receptacle. So, let's go ahead and add these all. Alrighty, so for my Instapot lovelies, what you're going to want to do is put your lid on and just set it to warm. You can leave it like that pretty much all day, and it'll warm up your cider and keep it at a nice drinkable temperature, but you don't have to worry about pressurizing or cooking anything out. And for my slow cooker people, again, once everything is nice and in your crock pot, mine is like an actual crock pot, which you can't see. Hang on. So, once everything is in your crock pot, you just set it to low or to warm if your crock pot has that setting. Mine doesn't, it's an older model. And you can pretty much set it to leave that all day. Your cider will be at a nice, warm, drinkable temperature after about 10 to 20 minutes. And it is at about that time that if you're making this mulled cider for adults, to add spiced rum. And now, there isn't a suggested serving size. It really depends on how boozy you want your mulled wine, or mulled cider in this case. But you want to wait until about 5 minutes before serving, before adding it, because it is alcohol, and while you have it set to low, it will start to cook out pretty much the moment you put it in. So if you want boozier cider, you can wait and just add it separately if you want to have this pot that's drinkable for everyone, and then those who want the alcohol can add it later. Or, like I said, add it about 5 to 10 minutes earlier. The longer before serving time that you add the alcohol, the less alcohol content your cider will have. And I wanted to use spiced rum instead of white rum because the flavor profile fits better than it does with white rum. With white rum or vodka or whiskey, whatever you want to put in there. If you get the unspiced version, it really just tastes like cider plus rubbing alcohol. But if you get the spiced version, it tastes like a little bit boozy cider. Alrighty, my lovelies, so after this has been sitting for about 10 to 20 minutes, it's ready to drink. And of course, my lovelies, don't forget to stop and taste it. It's delicious. Ready to drink. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Thank you to all my wonderful Patreons who keep this channel going. I'll leave my Patreon link here and a clickable version in the description section down below. Alrighty, my lovelies, that's all the time I've got today. I will see you all tomorrow.